What's up, world? You are welcome to Necessarily. Today we are discussing from what's it called? The COSCHARIS stories, okay? From trials to triumphs is basically the story of COSCHARIS. Now, if you don't know anything about this COSCHARIS is an amazing, huge company that basically deals in cars and parts and all that. They are actually the sole distributor of BMW in Nigeria and I think Ghana. So if you want to know more about this about this company or what it takes to be this kind of person in Nigeria, please sit back, relax, and let us begin. Okay, so guys, if this is your first time, I am Nez. Thank you so much for coming by. Your being here means that you're willing to do something to change whoever you are, especially here in Nigeria or anywhere you may be in Africa. Thank you so much for coming by, and of course, subscribers, I love you guys. Thanks for always coming by. Guys, this book, first of all, COSCHARIS is owned by Cosmos Maduka, but the name is a combination of both Cosmos and Charity. That is his wife's name, COSCHARIS. This is the book. This book is something. It's beautiful, honestly. It was written by some ambassador. It was written by Mr. and Mrs. That's Ambassador and Mrs. Udo Moses Williams. I didn't do any research on who they were, the person that wrote it, but forwarded by Pastor Tommy. But basically, this man just went around doing research on this man's life. That's Cosmos Maduka, and decided to write this book. Now, if you know anything about this man, like if you've heard him talk and all that, he's very one. I don't know how to put it. Like most times when you see him. They don't seem to be a lot of layers to who he is. I don't know if that makes any sense. I hope that doesn't come across as an insult, but he seems to be the same person all through. Like when you talk about somebody having integrity, being the same thing, anytime you meet him, you're almost sure what he's going to agree to or what he won't agree to. He seems to be that man. As of 2015, that's according to Wikipedia, COSCHARIS was valued at $500 million. The man is making it happen here in Nigeria. Okay, so I'll just give you a bit of overview about the man. The man grew up somewhere in the eastern part of Nigeria. He's actually from Nnewi, and at the age of 4, he lost his dad. His dad died at the age of 4, and he was the second born, or was it the first born? I forgot to know. Sorry. But he after, when he was still in primary school, I think in primary 3, he had to stop schooling because he had to go and start he has started helping out his house because his mom couldn't take care of the children by herself. So he was doing things like helping the mom sell akara and all that. But he was always very lucrative with business. He was very good. He's always been someone that had a great business eye. And then at the age of 9, he entered what we now call the apprenticeship program in the East. In the eastern part of Nigeria, it's actually pretty popular to have an uncle who has a successful business in town, which may be Lagos or even maybe Aba or Onitsha. Pick up a young boy and train him to do business just like him, teaches him everything he knows. It's almost like, basically this whole time you're learning, you don't get paid. So from as little as 9 years old, this boy gets up and starts learning this trade, and then they are there until maybe when they're old enough to open their own shop. Their father, their mentor gives them away. Basically, it's like a send forth. But in the send forth, they give you enough money to start your own shop, to buy material so that you can start your own, believing that whatever it is that this man taught you is enough for you to take care of yourself, take care of your shop, and take care of your family. And he did this. Now, sadly, he was unfairly, I don't quite know what happened, but he was unfairly treated. It wasn't clarified what happened in the book, but he was let go of when he was, I think, 14 years with only 200 naira. And even back then, 200 naira was a very small amount of money. Like he said, even back then when he was let go of, a lot of people that he knew were getting 10,000 naira to get the shop and so he didn't have enough. But somehow he was still able to, he didn't take it personally. He still went on to be the wonderful, huge entrepreneur that we know now. At the age of 21, he married Charity Maduka, whom he always talks about how her uncle collected gun and chased him away. Actually shot at him when he came to marry his Charity, because back then she was rated like as a way higher person, like in the village or in the society. She came from a bigger family, a more respected family. I think there was someone from the abroad that wanted to marry the woman then, and then the woman said she didn't want to marry, so she wanted to marry Cosmos. Cosmos then was considered illiterate. He was a market man, but he didn't go to school. So it's like, which kind of bush person wants to marry my daughter? Brought out the gun. I don't know why I think that's such a good movie to watch. But anyway, thank God nothing happened to him. He didn't get shot. He ran away, ran for his life. But he stood his ground. So did the wife, and somehow two of them are now married and they're happy. This book is wonderful. I have 4 things I want to talk about. This book, I cannot scratch this book tire. But I'll advise you, if you do pick this book and want to read it, I'll tell you for you to get a better feel of the kind of man he is. Read the last 2 chapters first. The last 2 chapters was basically what he called a portrait. A portrait is now basically a whole. This book was written in 2009 when he just turned 50. So the book, the portrait is basically a whole bunch of people that have done business with him, or people that know him personally, talking about what it means working with him. Do you understand? So if you read those pages, and it will give you a good idea of who he is. He'll give you you're like, okay, this kind of person this man is. So knowing that, you can now read the rest of the book and know the rest of the story. But this man is extraordinary. He's something. Okay, so let's start. Number 1, integrity is key. I already mentioned how he's not like he's one track. He's like a level playing field. He's someone that, okay, like in that portrait, a lot of his partners are in Japan. Right now, if you know anything about Japan, they tell you that if you're going to do business in Japan, you may not even need to sign the contract. If a Japanese man tells you, I will deliver this to you tomorrow, you're likely going to get it tomorrow. Their word is bond. Traditionally, that's how they are. And these Japanese men are saying that they've not met anybody that has a stronger word as bond as Cosmos does. So that's like, wow, for people that are known to be people of their word, saying that this man is really a person of his word, that is awesome. That then a lot of times when he talked about his money, he said they've never known him to cheat on his wife, like never. And that's not something we talk about a lot. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he has a lot of money. Like, the man has money, and then he's pretty frugal. He's someone that, if he's not being paid, like if somebody invites him to fly him to the US or something like that, he will likely fly economy like every other person. Do you remember me saying that his company is valued at $500 million right now? Exactly. So the man has money. Money is not the problem, but he just seems to be that kind of person. The simpler his life is, the better. He's a person of integrity. He's someone that, if he has money problems, he will tell his partners, see, I have money problems right now, I cannot afford to do this. And they'll take his word for it. He takes his relationship with God very serious. Apparently, there's a lapel pin that he has that always has Jesus written on it. And all of them they always say, Cosmos with his Jesus. With his Jesus lapel. And funny enough, I remember like earlier this year, I think it was on social media, I think it was on Instagram, there was a picture of him preaching, like acting like a street preacher, and a lot of people were like, oh, money means rude and all that. I'm like, of course. Then I hadn't read this book, but then I just kept on thinking, like, how can I call him money means rude? This man has worked hard to make his money, and he's decided to be a street preacher like every other person. I want to get angry at him for that. That's just life and all that. But reading these books has made me understand that I totally see that happening. Like, tomorrow, if I hear him making noise on my streets, give your life to Christ, I'm like, okay, fine, it's him. That's how he is. Because reading this book has opened my eyes to the kind of person that he is. So that's number 1. Integrity is key. Number 2 is to value your relationships. Valuing his relationship with God, valuing relationship with his wife, valuing relationship with his children. The relationship with his wife, first of all, is like the way he is with his wife. The value that, like, I heard him talk. We bought this book when he came for an ELC. I'll write the full meaning out. I'll write what ELC is about down here. ELC years ago, like many years ago, and my husband said, oh, I like this one, let's buy this book, and he bought it. So I didn't even buy the book myself. But his wife came. The way he talks about his wife, the way he refers to the wife, you can tell that he has put a lot of value on her. It's not those kind of people that feel like, well, if you like, go, that one consign you. He's not like, he takes her very seriously. And in this book, a lot of people that had the opportunity to run commentary on who he is and the kind of person he is. They mentioned that him and his wife and his family. So he valued his relationship a lot. That was number 2. Number 3 is to keep things simple. Keeping things simple, I've kind of already talked about. One of the people that wrote a portrait on him talked about how they believe that one of the reasons why he's very rich is because he has a very frugal living. He doesn't waste money when need be. It's that they've known him to, maybe if he travels somewhere like Croatia for business and he sees fairly used clothes, he will likely buy fairly used clothes. Yeah, because it's like, what's the point of buying brand new of a designer, that is like $5,000? Meanwhile, there's one street shop somewhere that can sell it for $50. He'll go and buy that one instead. That just makes more sense to him. Like, and then he's very functional in the way he does things. If he doesn't need something, if it's just to make him feel that feeling of how you want to wear maybe a particular kind of jacket, like a kind of wool jacket, because it makes you feel extra. He doesn't care about all that. Will it keep him warm? Simple. If it's to keep him warm, he'll use it. So he doesn't care where he gets it from or what it's like. He believes a lot in the value of something lasting longer. That's another thing. So it's like, for him, the possibility of buying maybe a big one big designer now has this new coat that is something. He doesn't care, man. He just wants something that will do the work that he's supposed to do. So keeping it simple is one of the things that he did very well. Then number two, the last one is being fearless. I said 4 things, right? Okay, so the last one is being fearless. This being fearless one, actually, it goes beyond. Like, for me, this inspires me a lot, because I'm somebody that for the longest time I feel fear has stopped me from doing a lot of things I want to achieve. So what I think this man has taught me now, just reading this book a lot, if I've not learned anything, is to learn to be fearless. This man, this book was written when he was 50 years old. He was turning 50, him and his wife are at the same age. And the people that were writing about him are talking about how they met him 30 years ago, met him 28 years ago. So I'm talking of, that means I'm talking of people outside the country. A good number of these things are like Croatia. I think there was one guy in Israel, like 3 in the US, like 18 in Japan, several people from Japan. All of them are talking about how I met him 25 years ago, I met him 28 years ago, I met him 30 years ago. So that means he was 20 when he met them. Do you understand? Some of them are talking about how they just came to Nigeria trying to see there's a possibility of doing business, and then someone just had in Ebute Meta that there's this guy, go and meet him. So then he was like 20 years old, and he was already meeting with these people, and he was brokering deals. Guys, the man no fear no day at all. Like, for him, what happen? Make it happen, you know. Maybe it may even come from the fact that he just believes so much in God, because it's like, what will happen? Nothing. He's done it. So I love this book. This book is wonderful. Sadly, I didn't find anywhere in Nigeria. There's a number here that I saw that I could call, but I called it and it didn't go through. I didn't seem to find it anywhere in Nigeria. I only seem to see it on Amazon. I'm hoping that there's another place. If I find another place, I'll keep it in the description box below. But if you're outside the country, check out Amazon. This book is there. If you're within the country, I don't seem to know where we'll find it yet, but I don't think it's not anywhere. I just haven't found where it is. So please, I'll look and I'll let you know. So guys, this book is wonderful. Thank you so much. Welcome to the new month of November. Okay, so I've not done video in a while and I feel so bad. I feel bad, yet I feel like I'm justified. Sorry I sound that way. The last month was not fun in Nigeria. I'm thankful to be back. I'm thankful I can smile, because I wasn't smiling for a while. And I'm thankful that you're here to watch so that you can learn what we can read to do better. But this book is a great book of hope. I think this book is going to teach us a lot about how to thrive, despite the factors that already seem to be against us. Thanks for watching. Bye.